Oh, I was back in Seattle, and Larry took me in again. This time, he had a girlfriend, and she had two daughters, and a whole new chapter of my life was beginning. Anyway, got back to Seattle, and Larry was so happy because I brought back an ounce of Pakalolo, the good Hawaiian weed, and we were smoking. And he said maybe we shouldn't smoke it all so much because it's such a good weed, but I smoked it all day, and before I knew it, it was gone. The weed was gone. But anyway, here I am back at Larry's house with his dog Ryan, his girlfriend Donna, their two daughters, and it was pretty cool. I didn't really have any money, but the unemployment checks were coming, and so that was good. So that's what I had, unemployment, and now the dream of being a stand-up comedian. Because like I said, when I was in Seattle before, I was watching David Brenner one day on Mike Douglas show, and I go, hey, I can do that. That is my key to being famous. I am funny. I can be a famous comedian. Oh boy, oh boy. Because that's what I wanted to do all my life. I wanted to be a rock star when I was younger because I wanted the fame and fortune. I wanted to be recognized. I wanted to be validated. I wanted to be somebody. So I figured I could do a stand-up comedy. I figured that was my key to success. So all day long, I'd be writing premises. Not jokes, just premises of what might be a good joke. I didn't know anything about joke writing. I just knew writing premises. And I always had my notepad. Oh, the dog just sniffed that other dog's butt. The TV show last night wasn't that fun. I wrote stupid premises. I can't even remember the premises that I'd write. But I would write and write and write, and I had no idea what I was writing. Anyway, I told about this earlier that I thought I did it like before I went to Seattle, before I went to Hawaii, but no, I did it now. There was a gong show night in this bar in Seattle. There was a gong show night. And I go, I am going to go to the gong show because I am funny. This is my first step into being a stand-up comedian. I went to the gong show night. And I got drunk. I drank like 2 or 3 double scotch on the rocks. And I was drunk. And I wore this pointed nose. And I played harmonica. And I sucked. I really did. I sucked. And needless to say, they gonged the shit out of me. And I went home depressed, bummed out. I got gonged. I wasn't that funny. It was a lot harder road to take than I thought. Anyway, living with Larry, living down in his basement, had a nice little room down in his basement. And, I never saw my girlfriend again. She didn't come over. I just lived down in his basement. That was it. And so, Seattle was good. But it was time to move on as unemployment ran out. And this friend of mine from prison was living in Eastern Washington. He told me to come to Eastern Washington because he had a job for me. Hanging sheetrock. Hanging sheetrock. Me, hanging sheetrock. So I took off to Eastern Washington. Yakima, I think. I forget where it was. Went with him and his wife, and they just had a baby, and they bought a bunch of drugs. And I went over there and started hanging sheetrock. And let me tell you where the story goes from there. Anyway, thank you so much for watching, and I will talk to you again real soon. Have a wonderful, wonderful life.